Capture the Flag is one of the most fun games we play, and it's great exercise. The game starts with two teams on opposite sides of the field, the yellow team and the blue team. When the whistle blows, the game starts, and teams are allowed to cross over onto what's called their danger side. If you're on the yellow team, you start on the yellow side, and that is your safe side, and the blue team starts on their safe side. If you choose to cross over the middle line of the field, we call that midfield, you're entering the danger side. And when you enter the danger side, the other team can pull off your flags. The object of the game is to get the deck rings back across midfield onto your safe side. There'll be two cones on midfield where you can then set the deck rings. The first team to get both deck rings back to midfield and on a cone wins the game. However, there are several rules that you must know in the process, because if you violate any of the rules, you will be out of the game. There's also a lot of important strategy. Not everyone on your team can go get the rings. You need people to stay back and play defense to protect your rings. So when the game starts and you cross midfield, there'll be defenders trying to keep you from getting the rings. Now, there'll be a little rectangular box near the goalposts called the safety zone. On the opposite side of the field, both teams have a safety zone. If you make it into that rectangular box safety zone, like these guys are right now, you can hang out in there because the defense cannot get you when you're in the safety zone. You can hang out there as long as you want. You can pick up the ring off the big cone, and when you feel like you can safely make it back, you can make a run for it. However, once you cross that midfield line and enter the danger zone, if you get your flag pulled off, you have to report to the jail. There are two jails for each team. They're located in the far side corners of the soccer field. So in other words, this girl was on her yellow safe side and she crossed over. And when she crossed over into the danger side, somebody pulled off her flag. So she had to report to one of the big cones located on the corners of their danger side and wait in line to be rescued. Now, members of the blue team, they can baby guard. In other words, they can stand right in front of that jail door, right in between the blue cone and the green cone. That's the front door of the jail. But nobody on the blue team is, so this guy's going to go right through the front door of the jail, and he's going to give her 5, and that is going to free her. Now, he can only enter through what's called the front door. That's the blue and the green cone. He can't go around the side. He can't go around the back. And once he goes in, he can give the first person in line a high five, and then they may both re-enter the game, but before they do, they have to take a free walk back out of bounds to their safe side. Okay, here's another example of a rescue. The girl in the black is waiting in line to be saved. One of her teammates comes through. He can only free one at a time, and he has to take the first one that was waiting in line. Here it is again. There's 2 prisoners waiting to be saved. He goes through the front door of the jail, high fives the first one, and then the 2 of them are going to take their free walk back out of bounds to their safe side. Okay, here's an example of 3 prisoners waiting in line. Notice how they're waiting in line behind the cone in the order they were captured. All they can do is sit and watch the game until they get rescued. Okay, here comes another rescue. Notice he goes between the 2 front door cones. If the rescuer or anyone steps out of bounds on the danger side, they too have to go to jail. You can't rescue people from out of bounds and in, or even from the side of that jail door. You must go through the middle. So you have all the prisoners waiting in line behind the cone. If a rescuer comes through the front door, those two front cones, they take the first person in line. Now they can only take one, and it has to be the first person in the line. And then the prisoner and the rescuer take their free walk back out of bounds up the sideline all the way to midfield, where they then return to their safe side. And when they return to their safe side, they can go play defense, in other words, back up and protect their flags on their safe side. Or they could go across to the danger zone again and try to rescue one of their teammates from the jail. Or they can try to go on the danger side and make it into their safety zone, that rectangle box where the rings are, and try to get one and take it back down across to their safe side. Okay, here's an example of some yellows who made it into the rectangle box safety zone. The one guy and the girl have the rings, and they're trying to make a break to get out. That guy just made it. Now, the girl's going to try to get out too. Now, the blue defenders cannot go in that box, but they are protecting the rings, because as soon as she comes out, they're going to get her. And if they get her, she's going to have to put the ring back and then go to one of the jails. Here comes a rescue attempt. Oh, he got her. She's down. She's going to have to go to jail. Here comes another rescuer. He's going through and he's going to free the first person. He's taking the first person. That girl needs to get behind the cone, because you need to be in a line behind the cone to get rescued. Here's the girl that just went down. She's going to get in line behind the cones and wait for a rescue. Okay, watch this yellow guy take the ring, and then he's going to make a break for it when the defense isn't looking, and he's going to take the ring across to midfield. Once he gets it to midfield, he just puts it on the center cone, and that's one. And when a team gets two, game over. When the game's over, we switch sides. Ooh, this girl's going to try to get into the safety zone. Will she make it? Ooh, nope, they got her. She's going to have to go to jail. Okay, people ask sometimes, can someone baby guard the jail? Yeah, you can stand right in front of the door, but that doesn't mean you'll necessarily stop the rescue. And when the rescue occurs, the prisoner and the rescuer take their free walk back out of bounds to go to their safe side. Okay, quick review. The game starts with one side of the field all yellow and the other side blue. When the whistle blows, you can stay back and protect your flags. That would be playing defense. Or when the whistle blows, you can cross the line and try to make it into your safety box. And if you get in the safety box, you can stay there until you think you can make it safely out carrying the ring. Now, if you have the ring and they pull your flag off, you have to put it back for somebody else on your team to take and go to jail. Hopefully you can make it all the way past midfield and put it on the cone. And once a team gets both of them on a cone, the game ends. Here this guy with the yellow flag goes. He's going to make a break for it. Now the defenders couldn't get him when he was in the box, but as soon as he leaves, they want to try to get him before he makes it back to midfield with the ring. Don't forget, as soon as you pass that midfield line and enter onto the danger side, you have to go to jail if your flag falls off, even if no one touched it. If you're on the danger side and it falls off, you have to go to jail. You have to go to jail if you ever step out of bounds on the danger side. That's the sidelines or the end lines, you know, back where the goalpost is. You can't go out of bounds and then come back in. If you go out of bounds on the danger side, you have to go to jail. Or, obviously, if someone pulls off your flag, you have to go to jail. And when you go to jail, you have to get in line behind that corner cone in the order you were captured and wait for one of your teammates to go between the two front door cones to save you. And once you get saved, the rescuer, who just did the rescuing through the front door, and the first prisoner that was waiting in line take their free walk back out of bounds. Now, also, don't forget there are two prisons on the danger side, and you can choose which one to go to. I would suggest that you look at those big corner cones, the prisons, on the danger side, and go to the one that has the shortest line and get behind that line and wait to be saved. And finally, we're going to talk quickly about the two biggest problems that get people kicked out of the game, and that is thinking that you're in the safety zone or past the prison doors, and then the defender pulls your flag off and you turn around and start saying, I was in, I was in. Well, if the defender is standing and, like, say they're baby guarding the safety zone or the front doors of the prison, and you are trying to run in and you get in and your flag is off and they're standing outside of the cone holding your flag, they probably got you. Please don't argue. Just take your flag and report to your prison. It wastes a lot of time and causes a lot of problems when people argue about whether they were all the way in or not. You have to be all the way in to have made it. And defenders, you cannot go inside of the prison area. You cannot go inside of their safety zone. You have to get them before they go in. But let's not spend a lot of time arguing about that. If you get your flag pulled off, go to jail. And finally, the other thing that causes problems is you cannot use your hands when you're on offense to push away the defense or to protect your flag. You can do your little moves from side to side, but you cannot use your hands to push away the hands of the defender that are trying to grab your flag. Okay, the game ends when a team gets both deck rings across to their safe side and puts them on the center cones. And when that happens, I'll say new game, switch sides, and we'll start another game. Don't forget, friends, the point of the game is the same point that we have PE for. That's to exercise and have fun. And arguing just kind of takes away from it. So be ready to enjoy the fun and exciting game, Capture the Flag.